In order to grow as a business person or as an individual, you need to understand where you came from, who you are, where you're going, and why all things happen.
We've seen a major
Marcus Lemonitch, the chairman and CEO of
I'm advocating.
Marcus Lemonitch is the prophet.
If you're going to be successful in business, you have to go in with blinders on. And you have to make good business decisions. And you have to be empathetic, and you have to be sympathetic, and you have to be a good listener. But it really boils down to business. Okay. Have a seat. Not the entrance you expected, right? No music, no smoke, no fanfare. But what I did bring is all my baggage. I tend to walk around with it a lot. And I've learned over the years that the more I walk around with baggage, the more it slows me down. See, I used to believe that baggage was my story. And I used to believe that baggage was a way for me to, I don't know, get people to feel sorry for me. And I learned a long time ago that at the end of the day, the best way to live is to be yourself. Now, I'm sure you're wondering why I brought all these clothes with me. There's a point to it, I think. These are some bright-ass pants. Instead of really focusing on my baggage, which I have a lot of it. For those of you that were with me in the 2016 year, I talked a lot about my baggage. I talked a lot about my journey to get to that point. Lots changed since then, for you, for me, for the world. I think it's changed for you. I'm hoping it's changed for you. Can we put some more light on my baggage? The reason I brought these clothes wasn't just a metaphor. In 2016, I looked a lot different. I acted a lot different. I thought very differently, especially as I stand here today. See, those clothes represent nothing more than layers. I put layers on. And for me, layers have historically been, almost like body armor, protective shield, to some degree. But you know what it really is for me? It gives me a chance to reinvent myself. Over the years, I have morphed into so many different personalities that I can't even keep track of it. And I finally realized that the reason I do it isn't just because I'm dissatisfied with who I am. It's because I spend a lot of time wondering if other people are dissatisfied with who I am. Thank you. The last time I was here, I was single. I'm not single anymore. Now, most people wouldn't put on yellow with bright green, and I promise you, for those of you that are fashion people, I don't. But the more absurd you think my outfit is, the more I'm going to do it. Because what I learned is that the best way to leave your baggage behind is to reinvent yourself in a way that you're comfortable with. Most people come to these type of events and expect me to talk about how they're going to make more money. It's honest to God, that is not happening today. Most people wonder what I'm going to talk about. Am I going to talk about people, process, and product and all the BS from the show? No, I'm not. Because when you take your time and you make the sacrifice to come to a spectacular event like this, you need to leave here knowing more about yourself, you yourself, than when you came. And you've listened to amazing speakers all week long. All week long. You've had events, they've been exciting, you've thought a lot, you've seen a lot. But what we're going to do for the next however many hours I'm allowed to be up here before they turn the lights off is you're going to learn a lot more about yourself. And unfortunately for me, I'm going to be your human prop. Because what I've learned over the years is the best way for other people to learn about themselves is to put myself on display in a very uncomfortable way. In a few minutes, we're going to bring up a few very smart people who are going to ask me a lot of very tough questions. And I'll reveal things that I have never revealed before, not for my benefit, not to be made fun of or to be mocked or to be exposed, but to force you to think about your answer. Would you ever wear something like this? He would? How about you?
Probably not.
Why not? Are you judging me?
I know I worry what others think about me.
Come on up. You worry about what others think about you?
Yeah, I do.
Let's get his mic hot. Try to test it again.
Test. Yep, it's working.
Have you ever been on a big stage like this?
No, but look at this. This is awesome.
Isn't it really cool?
I'm going to be here in 1 year.
I just have to tell you, this is frightening for me.
This is like energizing for me.
Well, then go ahead.
What do you want to talk about?
Go ahead. Keep going. This
is energizing for me.
What are you telling me for? Tell them.
Okay. Like, I think all of us, one thing I've learned this week is I'm getting a little nervous
Can
now.
you get dressed and talk at the same time?
Yeah. So, my name's Greg Davis. I'm a real estate broker out of Boise, Idaho. I am fortunate to know several of the people on the front row here, be close neighbors to them, and they're amazing people.
You like your jacket?
I'm not really paying attention to the jacket right now.
Your voice is cracked. Are you getting more nervous?
A little bit.
Why?
I don't know. I usually don't worry too much about what people think about me, but
that's not what you just told me down there.
I'm feeling it right now.
Well, that's not what you told me down there. You said you wouldn't wear this because you would worry about what other people would think.
You're right. I do.
So which one's the truth?
I worry about what people think.
Why?
Good question. I want to be liked by people. I want to, be liked by people for who I am, for what I stand for.
Keep going.
I have, like in my business, I have great pride and joy for the people I work with. All right.
Let me.
Maybe I shouldn't be so worried about what I'm wearing anymore. They're cheering for me.
Say that again.
Maybe I shouldn't be so worried about what I look like because everyone's cheering for me. Like that's empowering. That's so cool.
What if okay, it's cool because they're cheering. But if they started booing,
yeah, that's the fear. I think when you asked me earlier, would you wear this? And when I said no, I think subconsciously, I think I would worry to hear the boos.
Don't we hear them every day when customers say no? Don't we hear them every day when employees decide to quit? Don't we hear them every day when banks say, I'm sorry, I'm not going to loan you the money?
Usually when someone says no, I ask the question the wrong way. I need to figure out a yes. So if the bank says no, we figure out why, and we do the workaround and make it successful.
Let's stay away from the business.
Okay.
You ever told no in your personal life?
Yeah.
You are, and how do you deal with it?
I'm usually a pretty positive person and move on.
You what?
I'm a positive person, positive outlook, optimistic, move on. I think everyone gets told no often.
In your personal life?
I'm in a pretty good spot, personal life.
Are you here by yourself?
I am.
You have somebody at home?
Yep, wife and 2 kids.
And you never get told no at home?
Oh, my boys tell me no every day.
And you're
Time
okay
to go to
with
bed?
it?
Nope. Time for homework? Nope.
You see, the one challenge that we have, just hang tight for a minute, the one challenge that we have in this very simple exercise is that other people's reactions give us either the freedom or the restriction to make our next move. If you had booed for him when he put on that jacket, which some of you did because I asked you to, the emotional drain that comes over us makes us want to change something. And we lose our conviction. You see, for me, I have no secret formula. I am not the smartest guy you'll ever meet. I'm clearly not the best guy you'll ever meet, and I'm not the wealthiest guy you'll ever meet. But I am the guy that has more conviction than anybody you'll ever meet. And the more you booed for me if you didn't like my outfit, the more I'd make it even crazier. And the reason for that is because in my early years, I learned that no was an acceptable answer. Yes isn't for everybody. I'm not for everybody. That's why they make 31 flavors and not one. And what I learned is that in order to be successful in business, and I'm still working on life and business, but in order to be successful in both of them, you have to be willing to have conviction. And you have to be willing to set your own course. And you have to be willing to change your identity a lot. You see, I lived my whole life like a chameleon. Inside, I'm the same person. But how I interact with people, how I engage with them, how I try to motivate them, how I try to persuade them to do what I'd like them to do is going to vary from case to case. If I was going to a bank meeting, I probably, more than likely, wouldn't wear this. More than likely, I said. If I was going to work on a Tuesday, and everybody in my office is super stuffy, they all look like they're Brooks Brothers models, men and women, I try to be different for one simple reason. What is that? Why do I try to be different? On purpose. Nobody would really actually dress like this. Why?
To be your true self, be who you are, not worry what others think.
Close, but to give other people permission, to give other people the freedom to be themselves. You see, the more ridiculous I make myself, the less ridiculous you'll feel. And you are way more comfortable in that jacket than you would have been if I would not look totally ridiculous.
Agreed.
Because we're giving each other permission. Vulnerability isn't just about sharing your baggage and your story. It's about being a leader. It's about exposing yourself in a way that gives other people permission to be themselves. We live in a crazy ass world where people don't feel today that they can be themselves as freely. That doesn't mean I'm giving you a license by dressing like this to act how you want and say what you want and be rude to people and do things that are disrespectful and to be rude to women or men or whoever you're rude to not love each other, to not help people. I'm not giving you permission to do that because I dress like this. I'm giving you permission to take chances. Chances in your life and chances in business. But when I take off these ridiculous colors that don't match together, I'm still the same person. I just look different, but I'm not different. And you're wondering why I keep belaboring this point, but I'm trying to get inside of your head to really start to understand what makes you different. What would you like to expose more of yourself? And what's holding you back? Fear of judgment? Fear of criticism? Because I can't read another book about fear of failure. I just can't read another one. We're all failing. A lot. It's what happens in life. We're not perfect. We make mistakes. We take chances. We're not the best parents. We're not the best friends. We're not the best humans. It just is what happens. We invest in businesses. We lose money. We have an idea. It doesn't work out. It's okay. So let's leave the fear of failure away. What about the fear of success? It's like nobody's ever written a book about that. Let's write a book about the fear of success. I'm too scared to be successful because the pressure would be daunting. I'm too scared to be successful because it's going to require me to really expose who I am. It's actually scarier than fear of failure. Most of us started our own business, decided to become entrepreneurs because we didn't feel like we fit in somewhere else. In one way or the other. We couldn't show up on time. We're not good at taking direction. That was my report card in 6th grade. Okay? But the reality of it is that we're here because we have a vision for ourselves where we know where we want to get to. We know how we want to get there. But we don't know that we are willing to do it. Because it requires us to do something really different. It requires us to shed ourselves of whatever we thought we knew. I do this at every event, and I'm never going to change it. And I'm going to start with the gentleman on the stage. I want you to tell us all something about yourself that nobody knows. A secret, a deep, dark secret that you expect us to judge you for. I need another microphone when anybody can get that. I'll wait for you to go, and then I have another person I've already identified. And by the way, if you look away, I'm going to pick you. If you stare at me with this death stare, I'm definitely going to pick you. We're going to wait for him to go first.
Okay. So I moved to Boise about 6 years ago, and it was for a good opportunity to work with a builder, and I was working pretty exclusively with the builder as a real estate broker. Well, come a week before Christmas this last year, that all came to an end at kind of the end of the year review. Had a huge shift there in their business, and they weren't going to have an exclusive guy anymore. So, as a real estate broker, you market yourself first before you market everyone else's property. And I hadn't marketed myself in Boise for the whole time I'd lived there, for 6 years. And so a week before Christmas, that changed. So I was in a market that I hadn't marketed myself. Not very many people knew that I was selling real estate outside of for that specific builder. And being 20 years in the business, I was starting over. So that led up to, I haven't told anyone how scared I am to move forward and to kind of reinvent myself in Boise.
Tell us.
It's scary. I have to go out there and market myself and sell myself and provide for my family and you know, I want that sense of success, and it's scary. And I haven't told anyone that, except for you, 4,500.
Well, you've told us that it's scary, but you haven't told us why.
I'm scared to fail.
Well, you can't say that to me. We just talked about that. What's the pressure that you feel? The real pressure. Just you and me.
To provide for my family.
Tell me more about that.
So, I've been in real estate 20 years, and I know what it's like to go through a shift in the market. 2007, 2008, 9 was brutal. It was tough as being a real estate broker. You know, came close a couple times from losing my house. You know, I'd go work for days and weeks at a time and not have any success, not have a closing, not have a sell. So it was tough. It was a tough time. So I think my fear is that we're in a shifting market. We're in the middle of a recession. Interest rates are going crazy. And I'm having to kind of reinvent myself in a market that I haven't sold myself in. So,
is the fear that you're not going to be able to make enough money to feed your family? Is the fear that if it doesn't work out, you won't know where to go? Or are you concerned that you're going to be too successful and you won't know how to handle it?
The fear of not providing for my family and having to move or do something that displaces them out of their comfort zone, their home.
I think the thing that I'd like you to start with is just getting rid of one thing, which is really giving a shit about what anybody thinks. And I say that to you with one caveat. That doesn't include your family. It doesn't include your wife and your kids, because ultimately, what they say to you, they don't have a dog in the fight. They're not trying to game you for anything. They don't have an ulterior motive. And a lot of times, when people wear camo sweatshirts with a bright pink shirt underneath and a big giant hat and a really big buckle and a boot that could kick me to Tuesday, we sometimes criticize those people or fear getting criticized because we're worried about how that's going to how that's going to change the environment for us, how that's going to change the way we feel about ourselves. And that gentleman, who probably would never wear a sweatshirt like that, you don't wear camo, I get it. He ultimately didn't really care. And so what I need you guys to do, and what I need you to do, is to eliminate this idea that who we are as people can't be exposed because we're worried that people aren't going to buy from us, they're not going to accept us. If we have a good product, a good service, a good process, we have good character, it shouldn't matter. Shouldn't matter what color our hair is, it shouldn't matter what we wear, it shouldn't matter what we do. And what I would encourage you to do is to stop conforming. The reason that Russell and I hit it off many years ago, 6 years now, is because we both agreed that the key to helping people was to eliminate all the barriers for them, to eliminate all the excuses. And the reason you guys are here today isn't because you came to have fun and you came to have a great time. It's because you came to learn something about yourself. Head up on the stage, sir. Yeah, no, you. Oh, shit. Yeah, oh, shit. He wasn't paying attention, so his ass is on the stage. Ma'am, I'd like you to share something that nobody knows. Hold on one second. Hi. Are you okay?
Yeah. So my name is Natalia. So there's some things one thing that I don't think that I will tell to the whole world. And I just can't. I don't want to say this. I just don't want to say it. No. It's not that I'm even ashamed of this, and it's nothing I can do about this, and I can change it.
Let me help you.
Please.
Okay? Can we get a chair for her, please? For those of you that have never been with me in an event before, I tend to disclose things that are uncomfortable. And the reason that I disclose them isn't for you to feel sorry for me, it's for you to feel closer to me, to want to build a deeper relationship with me, because I need you. And I realized that a long time ago, that the more I disclosed about myself, the more people would want to be close to me. And the more people were close to me, the less I would, as Russell will tell you later, the less I have my biggest fear relieved. I was adopted, not a big deal. I've been molested by a family member. I attempted suicide twice. I have an eating disorder. I still suffer from it today. I have terrible depression. There's a lot of shit wrong with me. Most people wouldn't walk around and tell people all that stuff. So there is no shame for me. I didn't violate anybody. My mind was violated, my body was violated, my heart was violated. And it made me stronger. And as I learned, as I got older, the more I talked about it with people, and the more I did it, I was empowering them. It's kind of silly, like wearing bright green, ridiculous pants.
I love it.
Well, you love it, but my journey to get comfortable enough to do this wasn't awesome. My journey to disclose things to people wasn't easy, and I do it today. And so if you choose to reconsider disclosing it, understand that you're not disclosing it for yourself. There's somebody in this audience that needs to be liberated themselves. There's somebody in the audience that isn't as strong as you, that doesn't have the backbone you have, that doesn't have the conviction you have, that doesn't have the strength and the faith that you have, and they need you. So when you release all of that, you're going to free yourself, but somebody in this audience, their life is going to change forever. I will never ask you to share something you don't want, but I need you to understand, and each of you to understand, that the power of sharing those kind of things don't make you weird or strange or awkward or any of those things. They make you powerful. They make you powerful. My biggest fear in business is being successful. That's my biggest fear. Because in my own mind, I start to wonder what people are going to want from me, what they're going to take from me, how they're going to manipulate me, how they're going to cheat me. That's the paranoia that sets in. I don't have fear of failure. I don't really give a shit. I'll be fine. I'll sell cars. I'll do something else. My fear is if things get too good, am I going to have to go into my cavern? And so the reason that I am friends with people like Russell is because he taught me and teaches all of us that this isn't just about figuring out how to use some software that's going to change our business and our life, which it will, but it's also about coming to an environment where we can share things with people that are like-minded, that understand the journey, that understand the struggle. Because if you talk to most people, if all of you talk to most people, they would think you were just wacko. They would just think you were crazy. You had a pipe dream. Get a regular job. Do something regular. Work a 9 to 5. Right? So I'm going to ask you one more time, and I won't ask you again after this because I will respect you. I'm asking you from the bottom of my heart for somebody else's benefit, and maybe a little for yours, that if you disclose it, it will change somebody's life. Okay. Would you be kind enough to just stay then? Okay. And will you reconsider while you're sitting? I just asked you to reconsider. I didn't say you had to do it. You're more than welcome to have a seat. Here's the problem. The problem with who we are is that we tend to try to be things for people that give us nothing back. If you ever see me wearing that vest, it's because I'm deathly scared, I'm hiding, I zip it up, it's like my little cocoon. That's why I brought it today. It's the opposite of this feeling. This feeling is, I'm going to do what I want, I'm going to be respectful, but I'm going to say what I want, I'm going to help people the way I want, I'm going to give my money the way I want, I'm going to invest in who I want, I'm going to take chances the way I want, because ultimately, it's none of your business. As long as I'm being respectful and I'm being kind, it doesn't matter. I'm not asking you to leave here today and have that same attitude, but I would really like you to not care about anything. And I would speculate, what is your name?
Jackie.
Hi, Jackie. How are you? Would you like a hug? I'm a hugger.
Please.
Okay. Jackie, do you see this transportation method as a barrier for you?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Can I have a mic? Anybody just run it down real quick? Please, thank you. Do you see this as a barrier? Tell us, you can talk.
You wouldn't be able to tell, but I ran the New York Marathon when I was 19.
High five.
Finished 3 in my life happened, and my mom passed away, and then I have my daughter, one of my daughters, her twin sister, had a traumatic brain injury when I was trying to get stuff with my hips worked on, and she was in the hospital for 4 months. She wasn't expected to live. She actually had postpartum depression and tried to kill herself, and she wasn't going to make it, and I put off taking care of my stuff for my hip because I had to be with my daughter 24/7 until she made it out. And now I came here Tuesday walking on my own thinking I could do it, and I've started my therapy again. And I just by Tuesday night, I couldn't hardly walk. And my daughter, my husband, they were all saying, you need to get something. And here I am, and I hate it. I'm just, because I want to be there. I want to do it for my kids. I got a new grandbaby. I got a daughter. I can't. This is awful.
First of all, I'm telling you, most people are jealous that you got this thing. Because people have been walking their ass off and they're tired. Here's what's amazing about Jackie. Can you back up a little bit?
I don't want to run over. I've been running over.
Run that guy over. He don't care. 2 points. 2 points for him.
All week.
Okay, how do we do this thing?
Okay, so yeah, okay.
Okay.
Good.
It feels weird, right?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. Where is Jackie right now? What could she have done? She could have left. Is that leadership or is that fear?
Leadership.
Okay. What kind of business do you have? Microphone?
Business consulting, strategic business consulting, but I focus primarily on people like me, Latinos, women, African American, to help them structure their businesses to be credit ready and lendable, to be where we're at. We're Russell. I want to be the next Russell in women.
You want to be the next Russell?
Actually, believe it or
Why
not.
don't you just try to be his wife?
No.
Way smarter than him.
No, actually, believe it or not, my business partner, she's here, and it was when we first started this journey and I got into it, I said something, I said, I want to be the next Tony Robbins, and she said, Tony Robinita, is what she said, and I just was being funny.
Were you at the In Circle lunch?
Yes.
You were? And so what level are you at?
Well, we actually, this time last year, I was here with all my kids, my other daughter.
Russell, come here, please.
And my grandbaby was with my husband at the Airbnb, and this was when my daughter started having some issues with depression and things like that. And we signed up for a 2 Comma Club for my kids for us to impact the world. And, I'm from Colombia, I'm Latina. And
that means you cook a good meal.
yes, you could tell.
No.
But life started happening, and so a week turned into weeks and months where I couldn't do the 2 Comma stuff because I was trying to take care of my family, work. And then when this happened in March, I just couldn't do it. And actually about a month ago, I reached out to say, hey, can I talk to somebody? I want to get back on track because I believe in it. I've believed in it for 5 years, and I am going to walk that stage with my kids.
Here's what we're going to do. And I'm not going to let him talk me out of this. I'm going to sponsor you through this journey. Okay? Okay? Because...
Come on!
Hold on. Because, let me tell you why. Because all it takes is effort and commitment. And when you were listing out all the things you've been through, most people in the room, I'm not judging anybody, okay, would have checked out. Okay, kids close to dying, lots of crazy stuff happening, checked out. Where is she? Here. Couldn't walk, got a cart. Couldn't do that, got up front. Went to the lunch, and so I'm going to sponsor you for the next 3 years.
Jackie, come here. I want my daughter. Can I have her twin sister? Her twin sister. I want my daughter.
Okay. But I'm doing this for you. And what you do with it, listen to me clearly, okay? What you do with it is up to you. I believe one thing, and this is why Russell and I are friends. Everybody deserves an opportunity. Let me be clear. An opportunity. What you do with that opportunity is not my responsibility. We're living in a world today where people think they're supposed to get opportunity and then there's supposed to be a whole bunch of gravy on top of that. And that isn't how life works. And when you meet somebody, And you may be one of these people, but when you meet somebody that continues to push through adversity, that is the definition of an entrepreneur, right there. I only have one reason I brought Russell here, okay? It's one reason. I just want one 30-minute coaching session on Zoom one time with him and you. That's all I want.
Oh my God.
That's all I want. Okay? That's all I want. And he'll make his ass commit right now.
Okay. I've got my phone. I'm ready.
I have one criteria. I get hugged too. Does that
Yes,
work?
sir.
All right.
Can I get a picture? Can I get a picture?
Here's the thing.
Marcus, I want one with him too. Marcus.
I met my wife 6 years ago. And I was in, how you feeling? You feeling all right? Wasn't she amazing? She's great. She exposed a lot of stuff. Holy cow. I mean, whew, she exposed a lot. Here's the thing that I love about my life. I met my wife about 6 years ago. We had our first date the night before I was scheduled to be with Russell in San Diego. That's the reason I know this. The date did not go well. I slept out by the pool. Not a joke. At the hotel. I was sending her home. I was going my own way. I finished the event, and on my way to that event, I said, okay, get your head in the game, get your head in the game. Forget her. Get your head in the game. I couldn't forget her. Get your head in the game. Russell asked me a question, which he'll tell you the answer to later. I ended up marrying this woman several years later. Best thing that ever happened to me. She's awesome. But in the early part of our relationship, she had a lot of questions for me. When we got close to getting married, she had more questions for me. And once we got married, the questions didn't turn into questions, they turned into direction and orders. And this, you won't do this, and you're not going to do this. And she said to me, I got to tell you, I have a thing that I'm non-negotiable about. She goes, you can't, she didn't know me as well then, but just hear me out. She said, you can't keep helping people that don't want to help themselves. You can't keep doing it. She goes, I watch your dumbass show, and I could tell you in the first 5 minutes, those people don't deserve it. You shouldn't be helping this person. You shouldn't be doing this, and you shouldn't be doing that. And I sat her down one day, and I said, listen, I'm an only child. I'm an orphan again. I don't have a lot of friends. I have a job. I suffer from all these things that you know about. It's the thing that I believe will change the world. She goes, listen, babe, you ain't changing the world. And I said, yeah, but what if I just change my world? What if it's just something for me? And what I realized, and why I came to this event today, what I realized is we're here to learn about ourselves, we're here to learn about other people, but we're here to improve our lives. And improving our lives is part of learning about who we are, and acknowledging who we are, and accepting who we are. And in that moment, if you have blessings, whether it's wisdom, time to volunteer, the financial resources, the intellectual resources, we have an obligation to share those things with people. You look pretty good in that jacket, by the way. Would you like to keep it?
I actually would.
Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna wear it.
You're going to wear it?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Sit down. I will send you a bill. What I learned and what I explained to my wife is that opportunity is the most important term in my life. I'm on this stage because somebody gave me an opportunity and I'm blessed. I own a business because I've been given the privilege to own a business and I'm blessed. I've had success in that business. It's given me fruits of my labor. I'm blessed. It's not my decision nor my right to hoard those blessings for myself. Every single person in here has the ability to change themselves and change somebody else. But it will not happen unless you expose yourself by doing things like wearing green pants. Not literally, figuratively. I have this sweatshirt, and the only reason I wear it is when I want to be invisible. And I know some of you probably are rolling your eyes and don't believe that items in my closet have different meanings, but they do. This is my bold self. That's my loud self. This is my I'm scared and I want to be invisible self. This is my depressed self. I picked these things in my closet this morning, and I literally wear them when I feel that way. I need you to identify the emotions inside of you that are going to allow you to express yourself in your own way. Give you the freedom and give you the liberty to do that. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're up.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm not your sir. I'm how old are you?
I am about to be 39.
Really?
Yeah.
Doesn't he seem more mature than that? Okay, what's your secret?
So I've been a professional rodeo athlete for. What's my secret?
Yeah, what's your secret?
Um,
Can I have your hat?
Yes, please. That'd be awesome.
Whoa.
I have a really small head. That's it.
What is that? What are you trying to get me to acknowledge?
There we go. You look good, by the way.
I'm uncomfortable now because I have a big head.
Yeah.
What's your secret?
I've been a professional rodeo athlete for 20 years.
Professional
Rodeo athlete for 20 years.
Professional rodeo athlete.
Yeah.
Do you do this?
Yes, sir, I do,
Okay,
actually.
Okay.
Very close to that, actually.
And how did you end up here today?
I was a speaker on stage, and I'm a fellow funnel hacker.
Okay.
Yeah. So my biggest fear is I've trained since I was 4 years old. To be this thing that I've been my entire life. And now I'm too old to do that at the highest level because the damn 20-year-old kids come in and kick my ass all the time. And to be honest with you, it scares the hell out of me making a shift into full-time business, even though it's something I wanted to do my whole
Can I
life.
stop? stop you for a second?
Yeah.
And maybe you'll acknowledge this or not. You were on the cusp of getting pretty emotional when you were describing it, and you tried to get away from it as fast as you could.
Yeah.
Did I catch that right?
You did. Yep.
What was that emotion from?
I think the fear that I'd be good enough to provide value for people in the real world outside of athletics.
And so that makes you sad, makes you scared.
Well,
Are you worried you're going to lose your identity?
yeah, my identity is the athlete.
So is it more about you losing your identity than it is about providing value, if you're being really honest?
It's both. Both actually scare the hell out of me. I've been procrastinating, to be honest with you, for 2 years. Moving into other things that I feel called to do, but I'm scared as hell. And I find myself doing a lot of things that I shouldn't be doing, like low skills, like cleaning stalls or doctoring cattle or things like on the farm, instead of really focusing on my funnel and adding value to other people. I find busy work to procrastinate.
You find busy work to procrastinate from your mind working too much?
Yeah, I'm ADD, and I've always been dyslexic, so I have a lot of energy. And my outlet has always been the athlete. And my body's not in a position where I can train like I did my whole life to be good. And man, it sucks.
Does it though?
It really does, because I've been a world champion. I've been close to being a world champion many times, and I failed a lot of times. And knowing that I'm not competitive anymore leaves me in limbo as an athlete. Even though I know I'm called to help and serve people, I don't know if I'm good enough, but I know I'm not. In my mind, I don't know if I'm good enough to serve and add value, but I know I'm not good enough to beat the 20-year-olds anymore, even though I've had a really long career and I've been ultra successful.
The idea of reinvention is something we all struggle with, because we create this internal image of who we are and how we're supposed to be and what we're supposed to look like. And I'm not picking on you when I say these things, but you got the boots and the buckle and the shirt and sponsored like you're a NASCAR driver, and that's your identity. Mm-hmm. And if you had to walk around without the buckle and without the boots and without the hat and without the shirt, it may make you uncomfortable.
It would be terrible.
It'd be terrible.
I would hate it.
It'd be
I really
terrible.
would hate it.
Can I have your belt?
This is my entire life's work right here.
Oh, okay. I will respect it. I won't do anything. May I have your hat, please?
It doesn't fit.
Can you take your boots off, please?
I really stepped in that one.
At least he's got socks on. I don't wear socks.
Sir.
You're the exact same person. You're the exact same person.
Thank you.
But no matter how much I tell you, it's not going to take the pain away. And I can see you fighting it. That is who you are in a way, but is not who you are in totality. And you should be able to wear those boots and wear that buckle and wear that hat until the day you die, if that's what gives you comfort. But if you decide to change to a jacket or a camo sweatshirt, it doesn't change who you are. And in life, things are going to change. You're not going to be as sharp tomorrow as you were yesterday. And when I stopped making the profit, I thought to myself, after doing it for a decade, what is going to happen to me? And I have a similar identity crisis. I struggle with it all the time. We don't ever want to be known for one thing. We don't ever want to be known for one thing. We want to be known to be a complete package. I'm going to ask you one serious question before we go to the last gentleman and then go to a fireside. I know we're running out of time, but you reset that clock. My dad died about 10 days ago. And I had a terrible relationship with my dad. Unbelievably awful. And I struggled with the fact that I didn't have any emotional reaction to the situation. When my mother passed away, she asked me, please, I know you and your dad have a terrible relationship. I don't like the guy either. But I need you to do me a solid, and I need you to take care of him, and I need you to just do exactly what you would do for me. I need you to do it for him. Close your eyes, open your checkbook, close your eyes, and just do it, and shut up, and just do it. And so for 9 years, I did that. When my dad passed away, I had to go to Ohio. I had to fly his body to Ohio. I didn't want to go to the cemetery. I did it because I thought my mom would lose her shit if I didn't. We're all still scared of my mom. If you met my mom, you'd be scared of her too. When I was there, I did not realize that I was going to see the gravestone of not only my mother and my now father, but I didn't realize I was going to see the gravestone of my dad's dad, who I never met. And he has the exact same name as me. And it was really trippy to see a gravestone with your name on it, spelled exactly the same way. And it freaked me out. And I spent the rest of the day asking myself exactly how I would feel and what I wanted people to say at my funeral. Now, we don't think about that a lot. And I looked at my wife when I got back in the car and I said, man, I'm really concerned about what people are going to say about me when I die. And my wife, trying to lighten the mood a little bit, she says, they're going to say you're a giant asshole. That's what they're going to say. And she said, no, all kidding aside, she said, what do you want them to say? I said, well, I don't want them to talk about business. She said, well, why not? I said, because that's not who I am. She goes, okay. I don't want them to talk about money or anything like that. I only want people to show up that can say that I changed their life. And I want people to be able to say that I never met. That is my goal. She goes, well, I don't know how. So you want people to show up that you've never met, and you want them to say things about you that you changed their life. And I said, yeah. And I had never really come to that conclusion. So my question for you all today, for the next 2 minutes, is what do you want people to say about you at your funeral? How do you want them to feel? Do you want them to be happy? Do you want them to be sad? What do you want them to tell people when they get up to that podium to talk about you? Because the one thing for sure I can guarantee is that 100 years from now, nobody in this room is going to be here. And it's scary. It scares the hell out of me. I told Russell when we met the first time that I was scared that I was going to die alone. Hard to talk about. Now, as I've gotten older, my pivot is very different. I just want somebody to feel like I touched them in some way, even if I never met them. And what you guys have the ability to do in this ClickFunnels family is accomplish that in ways that you never would have imagined. Russell and Todd and the rest of the organization wake up every day. And sure, are they running a business? Absolutely. They have families to feed, employees to take care of. But at the end of the day, when I peel Russell's onion back, Todd's onion back, all the layers, at the center of it all, he loves seeing people be successful. That's really who he is. I don't care how much he gets there and there's smoke and there's razzle dazzle and there's lasers and music. That's not who he is. That's to hype everybody up. Deep down in his core, deep down in your core, deep down in your core, you want to be kind to people, you want to give to people, and you want to change their life. And you're here in this room today, and you came this week because you wanted to learn how to do that. And every single person in this room is going to do it a different way. Every person's going to do it a different way. Some of you are going to wear green pants. Some of you are going to wear pink shoes. Some of you are going to wear earrings. It doesn't matter. How do you want to be remembered? Not what your legacy is, not how much you're going to give people. This is hard for you to think about, isn't it? Yes. It's difficult. And it's okay to cry. It's okay. I cry all the time. I almost cried right over there. I had to hold myself back. So what's the answer? Write it down. Write it down. And by the way, don't let anybody see it so you don't make up some bullshit that's not true. Sir in the black jacket. Black vest. Answer the question. What do you want them to say about you at your funeral?
That I was a disciple of Christ.
Love that.
That I was a loving father and a great husband.
Well, they're going to say that no matter what, because you are those things. But what could they say that would surprise you? And then the next question is, what have they not learned about you yet that they haven't yet had a chance to know to be able to say? Put the spotlight on him, please, as bright as you can.
I want people to say that my story affected them in such a way where they changed, where they became followers of Christ because of my actions. My wife and I share a lot about our story, about our son, and how that led to today. And I've dug into Tom Bilyeu and Les Brown and people that have changed my life. And I want my story to help other people overcome depression, overcome suicidal thoughts. Last week I had somebody actually who told me that his wife called me after I had a conversation with him, and she told me that he told me on the phone that he was dealing with suicidal thoughts after some issues. And his wife called me the following day after my conversation with him and told me how he had literally changed overnight. And she called me and thanked me for it. And so I want the struggles that I've gone through to be a blessing for other people. I want the struggles that I've seen in my life, I want to be able to share those with others so that they can overcome their struggles. Because every struggle, every stone that's put in our path is really a stepping stone so that we can literally bless the lives of others.
I'm a big believer in balance, not work-life balance. I'm sorry, I don't subscribe to that theory. I want to, but I don't know how to. I'm a big believer in balance between lightness and dark. And that it's okay to be emotional and to expose yourself and to reveal things and to share. It's also equally important to provide light in the world, to provide optimism, to provide hope, to provide inspiration. At the same time that you're wondering what people are going to say about you, most people's answer, if you look down at your paper, is you want to be regarded as kind and loving and generous and giving and all those things. But it's also okay to have people say that you're really fun to be with and that you inspire them and that you were a great teacher and a great motivator and you were tough on them and that you gave them an opportunity when nobody else would, and you gave them a job when nobody else would, and you gave them a platform when nobody else would, and you gave them the open door when everybody else closed it. Everything in life has to have that light and dark balance. I think too often we get sucked into the darkness. It's okay to have fun. It's okay to make fun of yourself. I do it every day. And self-deprecation is the one tool that I will tell you will change the way you do business. Self-deprecation, for those of you that don't know what it means, is making fun of yourself. It's having fun in a spirited way, not in a destructive way. It's acknowledging what you don't know. And the key to being a good leader is acknowledging where your deficiencies are and doing it publicly. A lot of times business owners believe that they have to be the smartest person in the room. They have to have all the answers. It's not true. You want to get people to follow you? Acknowledge when you don't know something. Acknowledge that that person is smarter than you. Acknowledge that you hire up and not down or sideways. It's okay. Your team members will love you more and they'll respect you more. In life, for me, other than the religious beliefs that I have, that everybody's created equal, which I do believe, in business, I also believe that everybody's created equal and that we're all instructed to serve a different task in a different business so that the thing could actually function. And no one person is any more important. You don't spend enough time, in my opinion, each and every one of you, and I can say it without knowing you because I'm talking to myself in the mirror, you don't spend enough time fostering those people who you lead. And if you argue with me and you say you do it, I'm just going to say to you, can you do more? The answer is always yes. Leave here today with a couple of principles. And they're not the 3 Ps. Know what you want to be known for is number 1. When you pass away, what do you want them to say? What do you want them to think about you? Number 2, always be the light in the room, not the darkness. If you have to share a little darkness, you got to balance it out. Always be the light. There's enough darkness in the world, and you're here today because you want to be that light. Number 3, self-deprecation is the absolute gateway to people respecting you. Nobody likes a know-it-all. Nobody. And lastly, the one request that I have is everybody in life deserves an opportunity. Find somebody that you know that you maybe don't love as much as you should, and find a way to give them an opportunity when they least expect it. Everybody in this room was given an opportunity at some point by somebody who was not obligated to give it to us. God gave us an opportunity. Our parents gave us an opportunity. Those are obvious ones. Find one individual where you can change their life. That individual will be the first person to speak at your funeral. The one you least expect. When you lay your head down on the pillow tonight, after you've had a great day or flown home or whatever it is, I want you to reflect on who you are, what your purpose is, and why you know more than anybody that you're capable of wearing green pants. It's just a metaphor for freedom. Freedom of thought, freedom of expression, freedom to take chances, freedom to fail, freedom to succeed, and freedom to be the light in the room. I'm going to have Russell and Todd come up. We're going to have a little bit of Q&A. I know we don't have a lot of time. But we're going to come on up. You sure you don't want to share? You're positive. Now, I have to tell you something about myself, and I'm not going to do it to you. Come on up, guys. I know how to read people's minds. Isn't that funny? I actually can do it, and you're going to watch it happen. So the reason that I didn't push you is because I understand what you've gone through. And I understand why it's personal. Are you saying, no, I don't? Is this making you uncomfortable? I'm not going to reveal anything, I promise you. I would never break your trust. At some point, I do want you to set it free and not be embarrassed about it and not worry about the criticism or the risk that comes with it. You're bright. You're the light in the room. Does everybody agree? Okay? Give me a hug. And you can only keep my sweatshirt if you take the pants that go with it. Okay, okay. And you cannot keep that. I'm just telling you right now. You could take it. It's brand new. I just took the tags off. Thank you, buddy. Thank you for sharing. Give me my sweatshirt back.
Just paying attention.
My vest. I go through a lot of depression. I need my vest. You don't have to hang it. Just toss it. Okay. I need a table.
Hello, Marcus, guys.
That's all that Russell and Todd get is woo! We're going to do about 10 minutes of Q&A because I know people got to go. But I'm going to, which one of you would you like me to read your mind? Okay. Okay. Well, Todd would be great, Russell, but it's going to be you.
No.
Come on up.
Secrets.
All right, I'm hot seat.
Okay, you stand here. Todd, you stand here. So in order for this exercise to work, it requires absolute trust. It requires you to really not try to trick me. And when I do this with people and they try to trick me, I never trust them again. And I mean that. And the reason that I say that is I'm a big believer that transparency is the key to everything. And I've had people try to do it to me, try to change their mind, and I call them out on it, and I have no more relationship with them. So I want you to take yourself back to you grew up in Utah, I know that, right? How many siblings?
5.
5 siblings.
4, I'm the 5th.
Keep that mic to you so everybody can hear your answers. Is it
5 kids in my family. In the
5 siblings?
4 siblings.
4 siblings in you.
Yeah.
Okay. Boys, girls?
2 sisters, 2 brothers.
2 sisters, 2 brothers. And you shared a room when you were a little kid with one of your brothers?
Yes, I did.
Is the house that you grew up in when you were 7 years old very clear to you? Can you see everything inside of it?
Oh, yeah.
And was there a part of the house that you weren't supposed to go into?
Yeah.
So I want you to go into that room.
My mom and dad are right there. They know where it's at. Just kidding.
Remember what I told you, it requires absolute honesty. Okay? If you're not honest with me, I can't be your friend anymore. I'm not kidding. Are you in that room?
What's that?
Are you in that room?
Yeah.
And can you see it clearly?
Yes.
I want you to pick one object in the room that is very clear to you, and I want you to hone in on it. And right now, your mind is moving around trying to find something. You're scanning the whole room. Have you found that one item?
Yes.
Okay. Are you locked and loaded on it? Okay. Okay. So I've written it down. I'm going to put it right there. You're going to share with Todd what that was, and you can tell him. I've already written it down. You can do it that way. It's fine. You're going to have to say it, Todd, so everybody can hear.
All right, you want me to say it?
Yeah.
His parents' bed.
Okay. All right. Parents. That's not the answer I was hoping for, but it's a little awkward. Parents' bed. Okay. Can you write that down on that piece of paper, please? Todd, okay. Not you, Russell. Do you remember the first date you ever went on, Russell?
First date?
Yes.
Yes.
And your wife's sitting there, so don't be, I saw you raising your eyebrows, wondering what you should say. And was it with your bride? First date you ever went on?
With who?
Was it with your bride?
No.
Okay, good to know. Do you remember the young lady's name?
Yes.
And do you remember where you went?
Just like our house, so yeah.
You went to her house. Do you remember what you drove there?
Didn't have a car yet.
How'd you get there? Don't tell me. Somebody drop you off?
No.
Did you take a bus?
No.
Did you take your bike?
No.
Did you walk?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember what you were wearing?
No.
Do you remember if you ate anything while you were there?
I don't think so.
Do you remember her name?
Yes.
Oh, that's good to know. You got it locked in your head?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay? You're like, he's never going to get this, right? Okay? Tell Todd. There's a point to this exercise, and it really ties back to why we're here. Got it?
Yep.
Okay. Can you say it?
Kelly? Is that how you said it?
Why'd you say it with that face? Did you cringe because your wife is there? Is this thing being like broadcast and Kelly may be watching?
I hope not.
Okay. Now, I don't always, you wrote it down, okay? I don't always get this right, just because it's hard. There's two markers in front of you, a red one and a blue one. Can you look at them, please?
Yep.
Got them both in your eye? Can you pick one? No. Put them down. I want you to pick a color. Don't touch them. Don't point to them. Don't make eye contact with them. Just pick a color.
Gotcha.
You got it? Now, I told you I don't always get this right, but the key to this whole relationship is honesty. And when you guys are laughing, you're distracting. Okay? Did you write that down? Did he tell you?
No.
Okay. I already wrote it. Got it? Okay. Turn around.
Okay.
Can you read off the answers again, please? Don't turn them over yet.
Okay.
Parents' bed. Kelly. Blue.
Okay. Told you I don't always get them right. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Mom and Dad's bed. Kelly. And red.
Here's the thing. In order to be able to do things like that, not that. And are you Russell's mom? You making that funny face wanting to know how I got that? It's a little creepy, isn't it? Yeah, I know it's creepy. I'm sorry. In order to be able to do things like that, you got to have some sort of weirdness about you. But in order to understand people, you got to ask them a lot of questions. And you got to get to know them. And you got to be a good, right? Ordering other people to do things is going to cause harm for you if you don't know what they want out of life. Being a boss is a privilege and not a right. Being a parent is a privilege and not a right. Owning a business is a privilege and not a right. Being on this earth is a privilege and not a right. What is also a privilege is our ability to share ourselves with other people. I've been able to do that since I was a little kid. And the only reason that I bring it out once in a while is so people understand that trust and transparency will solve everything. So we're going to sit down for a quick Q&A. This is not truth or dare, but we're going to have some audience questions and they're going to ask some questions. Anything that anybody wants to know, good or bad, okay? Are you trying to figure out how I got that? It's a little weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can do it on anybody at any time, but I will not do it on you. I like you.
Thank you.
People are like, there's got to be some trick to that, right? There's not.
Backstage.
Okay. Well, we're wrapping up the week, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a crazy week. Did you guys have fun?
You guys are up.
Ask you any question you want.
Fireside.
Right.
All right, my question for you is, you worked with probably more entrepreneurs one-on-one than most people on this planet. Like, what's the biggest thing that keeps most of them back? What's the big...
The question is, I've worked with a lot of entrepreneurs. What's the number one thing that keeps them back? Transparency and honesty. I rarely ask a question that I don't know the answer to already. Intentionally do that. In your particular case, that was different. But a lot of entrepreneurs are always trying to outsmart somebody else. Say they know something that they don't. Say they did something that they didn't. And the quicker that people come to the realization they could just be themselves and acknowledge their deficiencies and hone in on their strengths, they're going to be way better off. A lot better off. That's the thing for me that's probably been the biggest disappointment. And of the 110 episodes I made of The Prophet, I invested about $70 million across the 10 years. And I'm not embarrassed to tell you that I will end up losing a lot of money doing it. And for me, I went into the whole process, and I never revealed this until the show was over, that it was a giant social experiment for me. I like to see how people handle opportunity. I like to see how people handle objections and drama and consequences and conflict and lies. And for me, at the end, people ask me, what are the most successful people that you've dealt with? And my definition is their success is really determined by their personal growth, not by their financial growth. It's been a long process. I have now pivoted to something totally different, because what I realized through the entire process of making The Prophet is that there was a root problem in every situation. And it usually started at home. And so starting this fall, I'll have a prophet-like show called The Renovator, where I'll actually go in and have that sort of environment, but in somebody's home. And try to put families back together, relationships back together, help people get over death, and do it by using their home as the instrument to get them there. Because what I ultimately realized is that most of the broken people that I dealt with had a broken home. And I couldn't really figure out why it was happening. And so I decided that I did it backwards. I should have started with homes. But I'm excited to do that, for sure.
That's awesome. I think I'm going to continue down that route, but my question is around, is it the honesty and transparency with people having that with themselves or with the marketplace as a whole that you find is the bigger problem?
You all heard the question, is the honesty about being with yourself. I think the only person that you need to be honest with more than anybody is yourself. It took me a long time. I used to front all the time when I was younger. I was in my 20s. I had created this illusion of somebody that I thought I was and tried to create the smoke and mirror effect of it all, which is why I wouldn't let them do all of that. That was the old me, the smoke and the noise and it was just who I was. And what I realized over time is that I was fooling nobody but myself. And I was so distracted by creating an image or creating a word track or creating something that people would be able to poke holes through it and I would lose credibility. And the quicker I got to who I was and being honest with myself, like I'm a closet eater, I have really bad days, I don't like big crowds, I'm intimidated by it, I get scared. And the sooner I acknowledged all those things, the easier it was for me just to do it. 2 more and then we're going to wrap it up.
Yeah. So of all the entrepreneurs you worked with, which one was like the best and the worst experience? Here's on those.
Well, the worst experience has been compounded publicly where, and that's why I gave you the speech about opportunity. It's what you do with it. The worst experience for me has been a lot of people that I gave money to decided to come back and sue me. And, oh, that's okay. It's okay. I'm fine. I got a lot of lawyers. And it broke my heart more than it broke my bank account. And for me, when you give people an opportunity, what I learned through that process is that I should have no expectation of something in return, not even gratitude. Don't do something for somebody else. It was a hard lesson for me to learn with the expectation that you're going to get something back. Do it because you believe that it's the right thing, and what they do with it is up to them. The same answer applies for the most positive ones. The ones where I've helped businesses adopt kids and they were able to buy their first home and they were able to make their first $100,000, or they were able to do things in their own life, find sobriety, build their marriage, have a child. The things where people were able to take the fruits of my labor, put them in their life, and generate something else for their family, that was always the best success for me. And it's tough. It's tough. And as I've gone through this home process, I've seen the movie sort of start again, where you have grateful people and ungrateful people. And I think I've had to remind myself that that's just how life is. And so when you go out and you give people an opportunity, don't expect anything in return. Do it for your own fulfillment, your own peace, your own soul searching, and be good with that. Last one.
So this week's been obviously a lot, and we've learned a ton, and people have been motivated and excited and have all kinds of energy and excitement and nerves going home after this. Is there any words of wisdom you could give everyone that they should be thinking about as they depart and go on their own ways?
There's a lot of information that you gathered this last 4 or 5 days. A lot of people that you met. I think if I was speaking as a partner of theirs, which I'm not, but I tried to be, but they wouldn't let me in. Walk away if you walk away with one thing just one thing, that's good enough. One relationship that you built, one lesson that you learned, one technique that you learned, that would be good enough. The noise in the world is so loud that it's very difficult to find your own voice. If I had the ability to give you the one thing to walk away with, that is to have your own voice. No judgment, no worries, no fear, but a lot of respect, a lot of listening, and a lot of giving to other people. That's it. Life's really that simple. I do want to say something about this event. For those of you that spent your hard-earned time and money to come here, because it matters to me. And I don't say this in a funny way, but a lot of opportunities for me to do things like this, and I'm very selective. And I'm selective because if I'm going to share my life with you and you're going to share your life with me, I want to know that what's happening in this environment is bountiful. When I met Russell, he was a lot younger, not in age, but in the way he thought. And I think his wife would opine and agree. You were a little more scattered when I met you 6 years ago. You were like running on adrenaline. And the thing that I'm most proud of these two guys and the entire organization all of you is that you're making a commitment to better yourself. You're making a commitment to invest in the most important asset of all, which is you. When Snoop Dogg, I think, got his Hollywood Walk of Fame, he got up there to give his speech and he said, you know what? I want to thank me for believing in me, for showing up when nobody else would. And I want to thank me for working hard and thank me for investing in myself. And I took that as really good wisdom. It's okay once in a while to thank yourself. It's okay because you're here today because a lot of other people gave you that path and that journey and that opportunity, but you guys worked your ass off to get here. You worked your butts off to get here. It's okay to pat yourself on the back once in a while. That, to me, it's okay. Other people may not like it. Do it in the privacy of your home. But it's okay to do it. I'm blessed to have been here. Thank you so much. I hope to be back to another event. Thank you.
Let's hear for Marcus.